Original news programming, exclusive digital events, and shows that are directly from the community. At the Los Angeles Tribune, we believe in giving a voice to the voiceless. We are proud to be the only national brand to empower everyday people to make a difference. Since 1886, our reputation has been built on truth and responsibility. Thank you for watching and making a difference.
For general inquiries, contact today. Thank you on behalf of the Los Angeles Tribune team.
Live and direct, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of Leadership Live. Today we have a very special show where we are going to have a round table discussion with some folks that were selected for this conversation. This is the special CEO edition. I'm sitting here alongside our guest co-host, Bill Walsh, CEO of Power Team International. And I'm real excited, Bill. We're going to roll in a couple guests here, have a powerful conversation, and we're going to spend the next 50 minutes or so and have condensed wisdom, right? A lot of programming out there. You might have to listen for several hours to hear that golden nugget or hear that gem. This program is all about condensed wisdom. We want to go straight to what matters most for leaders, for entrepreneurs, and for CEOs. And so with that being said, Bill, before we roll in and bring some of the folks that'll be joining us today, I'm just curious, how excited are you to spend the next hour here live on the air?
Listen, anything you got going on, I'm in. If Mo Rock's involved, I'm there. So we get to interview really cool people and give some good insight. You know me, I love that stuff, whether it's in San Diego, we're live from the Bahamas or coming from Dubai. It doesn't matter. If the LA Tribune's involved and Mo Rock's involved, I'll be there.
Well, there you have it, folks. It's that simple. So with that, let's roll in some of the awesome folks that we have here for today's discussion. I want to kick it off with Marcus. Marcus, I want to give you the floor. I'm going to step back for a couple minutes and have you kick us off, bring the energy. Let folks know, what does it mean to be a leader? What does it mean to be a CEO? What kind of entrepreneurs does the world today need? Marcus Black.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here with the LA Tribune family. And I love the question. And at the end of the day, there's so many people who want to know what it is, what is leadership. You're studying, you're buying all the books, you're going to all the conferences, you're going to all the events. And at the end of the day, leadership is simply just you choosing to be a servant. Who is it that you're serving, right? Because if you lead first with how generating capital and revenue and all of this stuff, if you lead from that place, you won't be able to sustain it. But leaders are people who are searching for solutions for sometimes problems people don't even realize they have, and answering questions people aren't asking. And so once you create these solutions that allow you and enable you to serve people at a higher level, then it gives people the ability to realize, like, okay, this person can help me get where I want to go. How do I invest in them? So all of you who are watching, the CEOs, the business owners, and who are looking for, how do you level up? How do you hit the next level? How do you push through the brick wall? It's figuring out at a higher level how you can serve more, how you can serve even greater, how you can move and impact people's hearts and souls. And this is what's going to lead you down the line to success. So that is how I answer that question.
Hey, Marcus, so how do people tap into that resource, right? How do they, I mean, because we always hear that you can just tap into it. So how does somebody, first of all, get the mindset on their own to now know that it's their time to really start to take action? Because we know that people get distracted.
Woo, that's an incredible question. I always say distraction leads to destruction. And we don't realize how much time we spend distracted. So for me, practical, right? So we're talking practical. We're going from theoretical to practical. It's a daily exercise. And I spend time, number one, understanding the brevity of life. Life is brief. And whether you move or not, time is going to keep on moving. It doesn't care if you take action or not. But you owe it to yourself to take action. And really the biggest thing that stops the people that I coach is fear. It's what if I fail? It's what if I succeed? What if I can't sustain it? What if? And we play this game until you get old and you look back and you realize I threw my time away. You don't have time to waste. And the reason I communicate with the urgency I do is because I dance with death. And when you dance with death, like me and Death did the tango, I live to tell that story, but it rewires your brain to realize no moment is promised to you. So every single day, Before I get started with my day, I hit the lake. It is raining outside where I am today, and I still been to the lake. And in that place, this is my quiet place. I eliminate those distractions. There is no phone. There is no television. There is nothing coming to push me a million different ways so that I can clarify what it is that I'm actually on the planet setting out to do. So in that place, I practice gratitude. In that place, I'm thinking about what I do have rather than what I don't. And I'm thinking about the steps I need to take. And then after that, it's just execute. And it's just realizing nobody's going to do that for you. You have to take steps. The dream you have in your heart and soul doesn't work unless you do. And so you can say it, but until you take steps, you're never going to make it real.
I love it. Good stuff, man. So there's the boss. He's back. Look at that.
Well, I thank you for that, Marcus, and thank you for that, Bill. And, everyone here and everyone in this community is boss. That's what makes this community so awesome. I want to go now to Cheryl. And Cheryl, I know you have a very unique background. You have a background in journalism and broadcasting. Share with our audience a little bit about that, because you have a very unique mainstream news background, and what you're doing today to help folks out, and some of the biggest lessons that you have learned in teaching people. Some say the greatest students are the greatest teachers. And so I want to give you the floor now, Cheryl. Let's talk about what does it mean to be a leader in today's world. And in your experience, what are some of the biggest breakthroughs that you've helped facilitate in your educational programs and your teaching? Cheryl, please, floor is yours.
Thanks so much, Mo. Yeah, it's just an honor to be here and to share this. And I'll try to go through this chronologically as you've asked those questions. But yes, I was a TV broadcaster professionally for 25 years, and 17 of those I spent on the national stage. And I reached that before the age of 30. It's interesting because I really feel like I'm being called today to help put other people on stages and to elevate and put other people on the pedestal, put them in the spotlight. I feel like that's the stage of life that I'm in right now. But I did have the great fortune of, being in media and being in broadcasting for a significant amount of time, and have served in a variety of capacities in front of the camera, behind the camera, in leadership and management positions. At one point, I was managing a team of 17 people across Canada and a network of hundreds of freelancers at my disposal. So lots of just great experiences. To your point, Mo, about what are some of the lessons that I learned from that? I realized that there are so many parallels between broadcasting and entrepreneurship, and that there is a lot more similarity than differences. And a lot of those teachings that I learned, those experiences, have permeated how I see the world now in terms of business and entrepreneurship in particular, and how people can really utilize the concept of communication, media, exposure, visibility, positioning themselves as authorities. These are all things that I had the benefit of doing as a broadcaster that now we all collectively have at our fingertips, because technology has evolved so much to the point now where we have these very powerful technologies at our fingertips to be able to do that. So really, I think that I want to just dovetail off of what Marcus was saying there about being focused and having a service mindset. And I think that is largely what I see now in entrepreneurship. There are so many people, very heart-centered people, that know that they're being called. How do we know that? It's just a feeling. You know it inside of yourself when you're being called by something greater than you to put that work out into the world. And when you feel that calling, you know that there is no other way than to push forward and to do those things. And Marcus was talking about impact, and that's exactly what I feel the same. I feel the same way. I feel like I'm being called to help put other people on those pedestals and to be able to help them. So how I do that now is really largely working with coaches, consultants, and experts, people who are wanting to do their best work in the world, who are monetizing their expertise and packaging that up, and that they're, selling those things in order to make the impact on the world that they're meant to make.
Thank you for that, Cheryl, and thank you for giving some background context. And I think Bill will be joining us back again in a moment here. So let's go ahead, Bill, if you're ready to come back.
I'm
amazing.
Here.
And so, I know you heard some of what Cheryl was sharing, and we're going to go now to Parisa. Parisa, I know that you have a very unique background yourself, and I know today you do a lot of work in what is known in the spiritual community and business development, and you're a coach. So share with some folks here, what does it mean to be a leader in today's world, right? I mean, a lot of this programming is about leadership in new ways, thinking of leadership in a way that people have not thought about leadership before. Because especially in today's rapidly changing climate, it's important for the folks in this community, folks watching, to constantly be on the cutting edge and to constantly question, what does it mean to be a leader in today's world? Otherwise, if you don't do that, you're going to get lost in the sauce, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be a dinosaur and a fossil. So Parisa, the floor is yours to share with this audience a little bit about what it means to be a leader, please.
Thank you. Thank you for that introduction. Yeah, absolutely. So for me, number one, intention. It's all about what your foundation is, what your intention is, what you are wanting the end result to be. Secondly, it's about being seen. You, as leaders, we have to be willing to be seen, be vulnerable. If you are not leading with the confidence, with the knowledge, and we all have the how we got here is because of our knowledge. It's because of the hardships. It's because of the moments where we were, on our knees going, oh my God, what do I do now? Where do I go? How do I do this? It's with the trial and errors. All of those experiences have shaped and molded each and every single one of us to be able to sit here in these seats and be able to share. And if we're not willing to stand in front of thousands, millions of people and be vulnerable and be seen and say, hey, this is what I went through, then how can we lead without holding that back, basically? So for me, it's about intention. It's about being seen. It's about being vulnerable. And also, you have to be okay with not being liked. Not everyone is going to like you. Not everyone is going to accept you. If you're going to come, if I'm going to create a post or come on a show and talk about, safe things, then, well, who am I helping? I'm only helping maybe just myself, masking. I'm not even really helping. I'm masking myself, right? So, and then the person that really needs to feel that impact, that wake up call, isn't going to get that if I'm not standing in my power and standing in who I am as a leader. And so as leaders, we must be willing to not be liked, not be accepted, but to be in our truth, in our power, and to tell it like it is. I mean, I grew up in Texas, so
I gotta say,
Texas.
I gotta say, Parisa, you helped guide us to a topic that we're gonna now do a deep dive in. And right after Ava shares her thoughts on leadership, we're going to discuss this concept of being liked and not being liked. I think that there are so many folks that sacrifice their success and their potential in life because they're afraid of not being liked. And so the question I have for the folks watching is, what are you losing? What is it costing you when you're afraid to take action or afraid to be who you genuinely are? The most successful people I know, they're liked by a lot of people and disliked by a lot of people. But the people that like them, they like them not because the person is trying to be liked, but because the person is just who they authentically are, right?
And I think, Mo,
Bill.
I think on this topic too, it's important. And I wrote this a couple weeks ago on my Facebook. I said, if you're going to have any real success in life, you better have thick skin. Right? Because the haters are going to hate. Oprah said it best. If you don't got some darts in your back, you're not doing very much. And believe it or not, I like what Cardi B said. She said, just as to all my haters, thanks for all your support. I'll still be number one. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So that's part of the mantra of success is that, you got to stay your course and you do your stuff. And if people don't like you, great. And if people like you, great. But, if you're doing good work and you're getting paid for it and you're helping a lot of people, then you know what? Let the haters do what they do. And really, they really don't hate you. They don't hate the leader. They hate the fact that you're doing something they know they should be doing themselves.
Bill,
them off.
I want you to share a little bit about how some of the folks watching at home can deal with jealousy, because sometimes people will like you, or sometimes people will dislike you. Sometimes people will talk about you. Sometimes people will flat out be disrespectful. And you think to yourself, what the hell did I do to this person? I didn't, I mean, I can't tell you how many times in my life, Bill, people have, given me a hard time just because I didn't kiss their ass. That's the only thing that I
Right.
didn't do.
Yeah. Well, the
And
other thing too is that
yeah.
you're making the moves they dream about, right? You're showing up for the events. What most people never see is the 90% of the work that goes in that's under the water, right? They see the private jets, they see the charters, they see the yachts, see the work that we're doing, they see that you've got good relationships, but they don't see the 90% that nobody even talks about, where you're waking up day after day at 4 a.m, that you're flying multiple countries, that you're doing radio shows, interviews. I mean, I was on Fox 7 times on Monday morning, right? All different stations all across, and that was at 7 a.m. And that's 7 a.m. Eastern. So in the West Coast, you're talking about that's 4 a.m. in Vegas. But it doesn't matter if they schedule those times and they're calling, you committed to those interviews, you got to show up. But people don't see all that. They just see that, oh, you've built this big community. So, for the people that are home, I think turn off all the negative news and go find people you really enjoy and go spend some time with them and put the work into it. And then, live your own life on your terms, and who cares what someone else has.
I love that, Bill. Let's go to Ava because she's been patiently waiting. Ava, of course, senior editor of the Los Angeles Tribune newspaper.
Big boss.
And so, Ava, you've been listening and observing, and I know you as an editor, you have an analytical mind. So share some thoughts. Then we're going to go back to Marcus, and everyone here on the panel is going to share their thoughts on this idea of, hey, don't be attached to being liked. We're going to close out the show here in the next 15, 20 minutes or so. And we just want to end with that message, because I think that's such an important message for this week's program is don't be attached to being liked, because it's costing you your success. It's costing you your purpose. I mean, look, you can live your life in a fetal position in the corner, afraid to do anything, and people will still find a reason not to like you. So it really doesn't matter whether you're super successful or not. The humble, modest, sweet person that bags my groceries, that never pursued their dreams, that never pursued their endeavors, that never pursued that passion of theirs, that's making minimum wage as a grocery bagger. Not that there's anything wrong with that. The point I'm making is that person also has haters. So you're going to have it regardless. You're going to have a bumpy road regardless. You might as well shoot for that big star. Ava, please, thoughts.
Thank you so much, Mo. Thank you. And it doesn't require patience to be in this crowd. What an honor. And it's such an amazing thing to even sit in in the midst of all of the leaders, Bill Walsh, Mo Rock, Marcus Black, Cheryl Plouffe, my next idol in journalism. And of course, Parisa Moyedi, who's also a partner of us in the Los Angeles Tribune. Thank you for all the viewers that are watching us today. For me, leadership is declaring something that wouldn't happen otherwise and going for it. Leading yourself in the resistance, leading yourself through fear, leading yourself through uncertainty to make it happen, and being willing to fail. Taking out a little further, the willingness to not be liked is also the willingness to fail. True leaders, progressive leaders, actually fail in 1 year what people wouldn't fail over their lifetime. Because we're willing to risk, because we're willing to do what's uncertain. We're willing to do what's not guaranteed. We're willing to go for what's uncomfortable. They said fear is defined as, finding excuses and reasons. So when we find ourselves finding excuses and reasons, to do exactly what we know to do, we're designed to know, like innately, if we listen, what is it that will get me to my next level? What is it that's going to take me to my next cut? When we were about to finish our latest edition of the Los Angeles Tribune, our last contributor was Bill Walsh. And it was at that time where we're just like trying to fit it in, moving things around to make sure all the articles are there. We have 59 articles altogether. And Bill Walsh's article came in an 11-minute voice message. And it's exactly what I needed to hear. What you said, Bill Walsh, Bill, was that leaders pay in full and leaders pay in advance.
It's true.
And what a power. I was empowered with those words because as I was seeing all the labor we're putting in without seeing the results yet, those words right there gave me strength. Leaders pay in full and leaders pay in advance. So to me, that's my biggest takeaway in leadership. Bill's words.
Thank you. That's an honor.
And I want to chime in because the article you're alluding to also was about an award that Bill received from legendary sports agent Lee Steinberg. And the reason that's relevant is because tomorrow, if you are in the Los Angeles area, you're going to want to check out a event that features Bill Walsh, Lee Steinberg, myself, Parisa, who's on the screen here, will be joining us. Ava, who's on the screen here, will be joining us. Folks, tomorrow at the Marriott near the LAX airport, come visit us at the CEO Summit. Tickets are available. We'll be posting the links under the video description here below. And I got to say, tomorrow, Lee Steinberg, legendary sports agent. Many people call him the real Jerry Maguire because his life story was turned into that film, Jerry Maguire. And, you know, the famous line, "You had me at hello." That would not be part of pop culture if it wasn't for Lee Steinberg. And so tomorrow's going to be a fun day, an exciting day. Bill, how excited are you about tomorrow?
You know, we're flying in at G4 in the morning. So we've got some really incredible powerhouse coming in. Invited a good friend, a billionaire, and we got some massive influencers coming. One guy's got, I think, 10 million, just over 10 million Instagram followers. And we're going to have Mo Rock there. I mean, you know, I don't know what else you guys got going on, but you know, if you haven't got a VIP ticket yet, just go to the website. If you need to get a reservation, get there. It's from 12 to 5. We have a private jet mastermind going back to Vegas tomorrow night. So if you want to jump on the private jet with Lee Steinberg and some other powerful people, come on over and enjoy a trip to Vegas, and you know, work with some really amazing people doing some epic things. And we're gonna, obviously it's gonna be Mo's birthday, so we got to have something cool planned. You know, it's like turn it up a whole different level. But you know, these CEO summits are necessary, and CEO Summit is designed for someone that runs a small business or a Fortune 500 CEO. They're all welcome. I have found that, you know, whatever level your business is at, if you want to raise the vibe of your business, raise the vibe of the people you spend your time with. And that's why I always find a way to show up. And, you know, is traveling private good? Yeah, because, you know, once you fly private, you'll realize that first class sucks.
I love it. I love the words of wisdom right there.
Hey, man, it's your birthday. Let's go.
Let's go, man. So I'm excited about tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a fantastic educational day. And again, Power Team International, what they do. And I said this, you know, Bill and I were being interviewed on the red carpet a few weeks ago. And I said, one of the things that I admire most about the work of Power Team International is the values that are instilled to entrepreneurs around the nation. And not just that, more importantly, perhaps aspiring entrepreneurs. You see, a lot of people have something inside of their heart. A lot of people have something inside of their soul that I can do more with my life. If only I had somebody that could give me clarity on my action steps. And what Power Team International does is it does that important part in your journey. It's not going to build the fire for you. No one's going to build the fire for you. Ultimately, you know, you got to be responsible for your own life and business. But folks can show you how to make the fire and give you the match and tell you how to get the wood, right? And so, you know, I'm just excited because what I think this nation more than anything else today in today's culture and climate needs is innovation, entrepreneurship, and self-reliance. So many folks are waiting for somebody else to be the hero of their story. When you yourself, the man in the mirror, the woman in the mirror, the person in the mirror, are the hero of your own journey and story. And Power Team International, you know, if you just go look at how many cities they travel to as an organization, instilling the virtues of self-reliance and entrepreneurship, that's what's going to save this country and nation and make sure that we have that beacon of hope, that beacon of light, that beacon of liberty and freedom as a shining example for the world. So Marcus Black, you've been patiently waiting, listening. You yourself are an incredible thought leader in your own right. So I'm going to give you the floor because we're going to now go to each person here to give closing words. We have a short, condensed program this week, and we're going to finish off with final thoughts as well as, you know, why should people not care about being liked? I think that's the main point that I've gotten from this week's show. Marcus Black, please.
Absolutely, man. There's a couple of nuggets of information that were profound in helping me shape and shift my perspective to be able to step into the things I'm doing, especially as someone who had suffered from lots of verbal abuse, always told I never be anything, amount to anything, never have a voice. And I lived into that for a very long time. And it was a quote by none other than Mr. James Baldwin that I first heard. And he said, it took me many years of vomiting up all of the filth that I had been taught about myself and even have began to believe before I was able to walk about this earth as though I had a right to be here. And that hit me so profoundly because I'm like, yo, like you belong here. And where is here? Here is wherever you are. There is not a room that I can walk into where I feel like I'm inadequate or I'm not enough or I don't measure up, because at the end of the day, everybody is on the same level. Nobody's better than you. One of my mentors always says, legends are just ordinary people who made extraordinary choices. If you want to be where they are, you got to make these choices to be like where you want to be. And then the other thing, it comes from a song that I heard, and the song was called Do It for the Love and Not for the Likes. And I always say, if you do what you do because of the passion in which you do it and the passion for it, you worried about what them and they got to say, and you have catered your whole life to them and they, while meanwhile, them and they are sleeping peacefully, eating, living, partying. They're not thinking about you. They'll say what they want to say and judge you and put you in a box, and you'll live in that box. Meanwhile, they're living their best life. Stop worrying about them and they. It does not matter what they think. They're going to think it anyway. If you are living from a place of fear and fear of judgment for what somebody else is going to think or say about you, guess what? I hate to inform you, they're going to think and say it about you anyway, whether you move or not. So in the words of the great, I think her name is Bunny Straight. I did not mean to Dr. Seuss and rhyme for you. Let's give them something to talk about. If they're going to talk anyway, you might as well show up and be great and give them something to talk about.
Boom. I'm getting excited. I love it.
I love it. I love it. Thank you. Marcus Black, thank you for bringing your heat, your wisdom, and your energy full force. Cheryl, let's give you the floor and hear your closing thoughts, as well as why should people not care and not be attached to this idea of being liked and the sacrifice that's made when people have that mentality. Please, Cheryl.
Well, first, closing thoughts on leadership. I think it's about being nimble and being adaptable to different changes that are going on in the entrepreneurial space. Things have changed. They're different than they were 5 years ago and before the pandemic. So I think we have to we have to recognize that things have changed. So the second question is, how are you adapting to those changes? Which then does move us into this place around the likes. We've just come out of an entire decade or more of vanity metrics and trying to get the likes and pandering to likes and Instagram and all these different social platforms, which we've now come to discover we were their product and are their product. I'm not saying that social media is not a viable distribution channel, but so long as we as the leaders understand how we can leverage those distribution channels to our benefit. And I think that we're coming out of a place now in this transition from Web 2 to Web 3, where we do need to better understand and have a better strategy for, is it really about the likes? Is it really about the vanity metrics? Or is it about impact? Is it about influence? Is it about income? Which, to your point, Mo, innovation, right? Entrepreneurship is so important because it is going to help birth more innovation. And self-reliance, I think, is an important point that you made as well. So I'm not as interested anymore in the likes. I'm actually interested more in impact and helping other people find that source within themselves to be able to make that impression on their audiences and to grow their businesses and earn the income that they frankly deserve to earn, instead of kind of being on a hamster wheel of trying to get liked in the marketplace.
That's good.
Thank you for that, Cheryl. I appreciate you. And again, we're going to close out the program in the next 7 minutes here. So just real brief, as we close out, final words, please, Miss Parisa, the floor is yours.
Oh, yes. So I have two favorite quotes of mine that I use in circumstances as this one. So it's those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. So basically, believe in yourself. You must be so mindful at all times who is around you, especially when we're leveling up. and we're, escalating to new levels. There's also another saying, new levels, new devils. You have to be very, very careful who you're entertaining and what energetic exchange you're agreeing to when you are embarking on your new ventures. Because I promise you, people can only meet you as deeply as they've met themselves. They can only be happy for you as far as they've come themselves. There's a capacity with certain haters. So you have to be careful. Okay, how is this person or these persons, how are they responding to me? Are they happy for my success? Whether it's your, with a significant other, your friends, even in professional circumstances. Be mindful of that, because that energy does seep in to what you are going to, create. And I'm going to say this, and I'll wrap it up. You are actually co-creating at all times with everyone around you, whether it's acquaintance or more. So you have to be mindful. Are these people where I strive to be? And how are they responding to me? And how is that impacting my experience? And if you're experiencing any type of negativity, then you don't need them to like you. You have to like you.
Incredible.
So,
yeah, I've never heard that before, Parisa. New levels, new devils. I might have to use that. I really like that a lot. And tomorrow you will be in Los Angeles at the CEO Summit, Parisa. And you'll be there taking notes, listening to Bill Walsh, listening to Lee Steinberg. And so we're excited to see you there tomorrow.
We might have to listen to Parisa on stage. I don't know.
I think that might happen.
right.
And so Ava, we want to hear, of course, your thoughts before Bill Walsh closes out the program for us here in the last 5 minutes while we still got some airtime. Ava, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you. It's always been a joy to hear everybody's thoughts, and being the senior editor of the Los Angeles Tribune, it is such an honor, to hear people's stories. We are very personable in the Los Angeles Tribune, that every article that's written in our Thought Leader edition, I have actually sat with in one capacity or another, or that we've had partners who have spoken to them. So, as a leader, I just wanted to invite you to look at your next level. What does that next level look like for you? What's the next big thing? When that big thing happens, what does that look like? Who are you with? What are you dressed like? What are you riding? What are you flying? And what's the environment you're in? Picture that for a second. And when you see that and you can feel that, then you would know which people do you not have to worry about liking you, which people you're not worried about getting the approval for. Because in life, the things that we get to do in the next level, sometimes we have to leave people behind. Sometimes we have to shut people down. And how bad do you want what you want for your next level versus what you're trying to please at the moment? So that's my nugget for today, Mo.
I love it. Thank you for that, Ava. And we're going to now go to Bill Walsh in a few moments here so he could close out this rendition of Leadership Live, which has been such a joy. And I'll close out by just saying that this conversation has really given me a lot of opportunity to think about many different things. And just in conclusion and closing, I'll say that the folks that keep a society moving forward are the folks that are the creators, the folks that build the skyscraper, the Ralph Lauren's of the world, the Steve Jobs of the world. If you look historically, the Henry Fords of the world, these are people that were in the arena. Teddy Roosevelt had this incredible quote that said, "It's not the critic that matters, but the person in the arena." And so that's such an important message. There's lots of people in society that are essentially leeches, and they suck the blood off of those that are actually in the trenches developing business, making sure that society moves forward. And so this community is all about instilling the spirit of creation. Are you creating jobs? Are you creating opportunities? Are you elevating and uplifting people's endeavors? Are you making this world a better place? Or are you a leech, sucking on to the people that are actually out there innovating and doing things? Because let me tell you, folks, when you create that skyscraper, there are going to be a lot of people that are going to want to suck the blood like a leech. And historically speaking, this has always happened. And so, we want to make sure that self-reliance is a principle in conclusion and closing, because the people that are self-reliant it doesn't matter whether the economy is up or down, right? The folks that are self-reliant don't worry when the Fed makes a public announcement about the interest rate, right? Because they know they are in control of their destiny. And so with that being said, be around people like Bill Walsh. Just being in his presence alone helps give you that mentality. Be around folks that are creating and innovating. Be around the self-reliant people in society. You know, if you get the impression that someone is being entitled, if you get the impression that someone feels like you owe them something for no reason, get away from them. I have no space in my life for entitled people. I have no space in my life for energy vampires, for leeches. No, have the right boundaries and be around the winners. Don't be around losers. Bill Walsh, please. Floor is yours. Close us out.
I just took a lot of notes, you guys. I mean, what Mo said is good. Number one, put yourself in the arena. You know, you can dream the dream, but try to call American Express, tell them you're dreaming the dream. They're gonna send you a message that says, leave home without me. I promise you. So the other thing is that there's never in my lifetime or anyone's lifetime has there been a monument built for a critic. There's no monuments for critics. There's monuments really to go out there and make it happen. So if people laugh at you, just remember they're cheering for you. If people put you down, take it as a positive vibe that, you know what, you're on the right track. If your friends think you're crazy and your family thinks you're nuts, you're probably doing the right stuff. And if you need to escape, to elevate, then move away from the negative people that keep trying to drag you down and get around positive vibe people that really are there to support your goals and vision, and they'll work with you on some of this stuff. But don't sit home and have a pity party. Don't sit home and just, dream about building your success. Take the time and start today to build something great. And everybody that's listening today, let me make it really clear, is that we all have failures. I've been broke and I've been wealthy. Broke sucks. But man, you find your real friends when you're broke, and the part of failure is that if I was to define success in two simple words, the two simple words to define success is that persistence plus failure equals success. Mm. And so write that down. Persistence plus failure equals success. And measure success only on your terms, and stay tuned into whatever the Los Angeles Tribune has going on. If Mo's got events going on, or these speakers you heard from today got something going on, get plugged in. Follow us on Instagram. I'm at Bill Walsh 360. I'll follow you back. We got, 400,000 people that follow. So let's figure out some ways to collaborate together. Collective collaboration is the future. Let's get after it. That's it, Mo. Love you, brother.
Love you too, Bill. And folks, this has been another great time that we've spent together right here on the Los Angeles Tribune TV network, available on over 50 million devices via Roku TV. And be sure to stay subscribed, like Bill said, and we will see you next time. I want to thank all of the wonderful folks that took time out of their day today, all these incredible contributors. And until next time, remember, in the words of Bill Walsh, what success really is. So don't be afraid of failure. Go out and make it happen, and be the change makers, and be the innovators, and be the creators that the world so desperately needs today. If you have that spirit, folks, it's never been easier, because there's hardly any competition for the people that really go out there and make it happen, because people have become lazy, complacent. And so let's not be in that community. This is the Los Angeles Tribune leadership community. We're in that 1% of folks that are actually making a difference. Thank you, Bill, Cheryl, Ava, Parisa, and Mr. Marcus Black. We'll see you next time.